Hello everyone, this is Calvin Russell, CEO and founder of 850 Club Credit Consultation. Hope everyone is doing well today. I'm ready to talk about a really hot topic right now. A lot of people have been asking me, sending me emails, messages, Facebook messages, all type of forms of communication, trying to figure out what are these big changes that's about to happen in the credit scoring process and the credit scoring industry. And I'm also going to explain why I don't want to say I'm not too excited about it, but just to make sure you guys' expectations are set right once all this happens. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's huge changes, but I want to make sure that you guys have the right expectations, okay? So let's just jump straight into it, all right? So now, the biggest change that's about to happen is there's going to be the way that the scores are actually being calculated, okay, by things that are currently on your credit report that normally would be negative with the old platform are now going to turn into a more positive structure, okay? So let's talk about just a couple basics. Number one, the only credit scoring platform that's making these changes as of right now with a scheduled date is Vantage 4.0. Now, a lot of people don't know what Vantage 4.0 is. I'll just make it really quick. Equifax, Transunion, and Experian have come together to make a credit scoring platform. Some of you guys are like, oh my God, about time, right? This has been out for a while. You guys may know it as Vantage 3.0 or the algorithm that the famous Credit Karma uses, okay? Credit Sesame uses it, a Wallet Hub uses it. A lot of platforms use currently right now Vantage 3.0. Now they're coming out with Vantage 4.0. That's what a lot of people, they don't understand. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and break it down. So now Vantage 3.0, you can currently get that through Credit Karma or the other sites I just mentioned, okay? They're now going to make a couple changes and then just changing the name, all right? So now it's Vantage 4.0. In the Vantage 4.0 marketplace, now you had there's about 30 to 35 million people that normally would be considered what we call a thin line of credit, zero credit, whatever, right? They pretty much didn't have a credit score at all right? Now 30 to 35 million consumers would now have a credit score thanks to this new platform. How are they doing it? And what do people that currently have a credit score, of course, right now through the platform, how will they see an increase? Number one, the biggest thing is going to be public records, okay? Public records will no longer be on credit reports through Vantage 4.0. Now, they will go back from 2014 to 2017, all right? So normally with credit scoring, they go back, with payment history a little bit further, but this is more so what they call trended data, and they're trying to see more so the habits of a person that may not necessarily score normally. But it doesn't matter if you have a score or don't have a score through this platform, which if you don't know, you can always go to Credit Karma and see, right now. But right now it's, of course, the old platform of 3.0. The changes will be made, and there's 3 more changes I'm going to go into shortly. The changes they're scheduled for fall of 2017, okay? So, and they're pushing for October, okay? Just give everyone kind of a heads up. But I'm going to also explain the pros and cons of this. But let me just go ahead and go over the changes really quickly. So that's number one. The public records will no longer be on credit reports through this platform. Okay. Now, even if there's some on there, and by the way, this is just going off of what I've been told from, of course, Vantage 4.0. It's on, and again, I have the articles down at the bottom, so if you guys want to have the link, I'll put the link up there as well too, if you guys are interested in reading it for yourselves. And but either way, so we talked about the public records. The second thing is going to be medical collections. This is huge. The reason why this is huge is because there's a lot of people that just could not afford to pay medical collections. But the biggest thing, what a lot of people don't know, there's a lot of people right now that are in the 700s with unpaid medical collections, and they have no idea that they're on their credit report because they may not check it. Or worse, the insurance company was supposed to pay it by a certain date, and they didn't pay it by a certain date, and it's on your credit report. All right. So now they've restructured it. Now, let's say, for example, you go to the doctor, hospital, whatever, and for whatever reason, the bill doesn't get paid. It's going to get submitted to a collection company. This is normal process. Then once they take that to the collection company, the collection company is then going to report that to all three credit bureaus, and voila, you have a medical collection. Your score is going to decrease. That's a normal process. But with Vantage 4.0, they're going to give the consumer, well, the report technically, 180 days, which is 6 months. Okay, so that gives your insurance company 6 months to pretty much make sure that they're going to pay it. All right. So now there are some cases where people know that they didn't have insurance that paid it, or they pretty much know that the medical collection was authentic, it was real. Okay, but now they're going to give the insurance companies a little bit longer time, because that's what some collections did come from. Believe it or not, a lot of my clients that I saw, they would have medical collections on their credit report. They would have no idea about it. Say, well, wait a minute, I thought my insurance company paid that. I had insurance, and a lot of times the insurance company paid it. It's just been sitting there and no one's updating it. All right, that's millions of people that have credit reports and credit scores. There's no way these computers can keep up. I mean, let's just be honest. So that's the one way that they're going to be doing it. Now, let's just say, for example, well, Calvin, man, that sucks, because I do have a medical collection. I didn't have insurance, or the insurance did, whatever. But I own up to the fact that I do have a medical collection. The good news about Vantage 4.0, this is the third thing, is that if you pay the medical collection, they will remove it from your credit report automatically, okay? Or even if it's not removed, the actual score will be improved. It's like normally when you pay a collection, nothing changes on your credit report, okay? But now when you pay a medical collection, your score should improve. Okay, so now that's only with the Vantage 4.0 model. Why do I keep reiterating that? Well, 90% of lenders use FICO, F-I-C-O. So now there are over 2,400 lenders that use Vantage, the scoring model, whether it's 3.0 and of course the 4.0 when it comes out. But you got a lot of factors in between that. What I mean by that, number one, only 2,400 lenders are using them. What does that mean? Well, it's a lot of lenders, but at the same time, it's not a lot of the big places like Chase Bank, Fifth Third Bank, and Ally, and pretty much where you do majority of your business. This is going to be like, a lot of credit unions, a lot of dealerships that may do in-house financing, things of that sort. I'm not knocking it by any means, okay? But again, want to make sure your expectations are set right. Everyone's not using this platform anyway. But they are making tremendous progress. Over 8 billion people are now have access to the credit scoring platform, of course, outside the nation of the United States. But it's to try to give it a more international feel and things that people are doing already, okay, and more trended data. And again, some people they know that they get a medical collection, and they want to pay it, and they pay it, and they're like, well, man, I might as well not pay it. That's why a lot of people say, and it's horrible advice, don't pay collections. But at the same time, it makes sense if it benefits you, and if it doesn't benefit you, that's up to you. Okay, that's most definitely up to you. But there are a lot of times where if you call the company, sometimes they'll negotiate certain things or whatever. So, but either way, my point is that for those of you who actually paid, medical collections, they're now going to improve your credit score. And that's nothing you have to do. It's going to the change is going to take, it's going to be quickly done, and you'll be able to see that through platforms like, of course, Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, Wallet Hub, all the rest of these platforms, even Credit Wise, which is used from Capital One. Okay, so those are like the biggest changes that I've seen that are structured. There's a couple other changes as well too, but that's going to naturally happen. Like they're going to be looking at, of course, utilization. They won't just go by percentages. They'll look at the percentage, but they're going to try to see a trend as to, was it an emergency or was it something that happened? And they're going to look to try to see more of the behaviors, like if it's like a one-time thing or if it's a slow thing. For example, if you're swiping your card every single day, right? You're using your credit card like a debit card. Your balance is going to keep going up. It's most definitely going to make your utilization go up, and it's going to most definitely decrease your credit score. But they're going to be looking for times like if you have a card for, let's say, a year or something. There's no, of course, don't just go by my example. This is just a random example, but it's going to give you guys an idea of what they're going to be looking for. So let's say, for example, you've had a credit card for quite some time. There's no specific time, but as you use, and let's say an emergency happens, and you use that credit card, and you go from, like, let's say a balance like this, and it goes up like this in one day. okay, then of course they're like, okay, maybe there's an emergency, and they see that you're paying it down, right? Because it means you're practicing good financial habits as well too. Your score won't be hit as hard as it used to be. Okay, so that's a huge benefit, a very, very huge benefit. But these are like some of the big changes going to be happening. There's a lot of companies involved in this, a lot of programs that are involved in this, and there's a lot of other small things happening too. But these are like the biggest things that a lot of people are talking about, is the fact that, of course, public records are not going to be affecting your score on your credit report. And I don't know for sure if they're not going to be on the report. Okay, but it's not going to affect your score. A lot of times people think that just because it's on the report that it's going to affect their score, like student loans. And that's a whole nother video, on student loans. So student loans do not help improve your credit score. That's another video for another day. But the public records. The second thing is going to be, of course, the medical collections. 180 days, that's huge. So that means that, of course, if you get a medical collection and gets on your credit report, and it will not affect your score. It's going to be on the report, but it will not affect your score until 180 days later. Now, mind you, they stay on your credit report for 7 years anyway. So that just saves you, like, now you got 6.5 years if you're going to go that route and wait till it ages off or whatever. But that's huge, because a lot of times it's not a lot of collections that happen like that, but at least about 30% that happen like that, where the insurance company just paid it late, and then now it's on your credit report because the hospitals and clinics or whatever, they don't care who pays them. They just don't listen. We just haven't got paid. So, and then that creates another problem, because once they finally do get paid, guess what? It's still on your credit report, and you're thinking like, man, I thought I paid this, or I thought the insurance company paid it, and it's just not accurate. So there's a lot of other side companies that's going to be involved to follow up with these hospitals and clinics and other people that are reporting this incorrect data, and said, hey, listen, we need you to update this stuff. So it's going to be a lot more accurate. So again, but there are going to be some medical collections that people just can't afford, right? And now they have an opportunity to, when they finally do, pay for it, it actually just, it won't even affect their credit score anymore. So I think that's huge. So hope you guys like this video. There's a lot more changes that are coming that I've heard, and as they come, I promise you I'll get you guys the correct information. A lot of you guys have seen the news, have been talking about it, things of that sort, but for them to have a date that's going to come out and things, I think that's huge. Just another reminder, everyone doesn't use Vantage scoring, okay? But there are a lot of people that do use it, and it's going to give you like like a roundabout average close to what FICO has, which, by the way, FICO is working on something, in my opinion, bigger than this, okay? And you're probably like, well, of course you're going to say that because Credit Karma is free. No, I'm a huge advocate of Credit Karma. The problem is that it doesn't, even though they're going to go from 3.0 to 4.0, all of your lenders, Credit Karma is going to have, of course, going to be able to show you your newer score. But even those 2,400 lenders, they have to now adapt to that new model. What does that mean? That means they now have to, these companies make money off this stuff, okay? So they now have to restructure, and which I'm sure is not a lot of work, but they now have to go from the old platform software to now the new platform. Okay, and that's going to be, of course, some type of contract, some type of money that these companies have to pay out, or some type of agreement. Okay, it's not just going to happen overnight. For Credit Karma and those other sites, they'll be able to show you your score, but these businesses still have to go from the old platform to the new platform. Just like, for example, a lot of people don't even know the FICO 9 has been out for like 2-3 years now. You don't even know what the FICO 9 is. If you go to a dealership right now, most dealerships are still on the FICO 4. No, sorry, the auto score FICO 8. Okay, if you go get a mortgage, that's still on the FICO 4. The FICO 9 is out, right? So again, just because it's a new platform, that has been put out, doesn't mean a lot of lenders are going to go with it, because they're so used to what they're used to doing. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Yes, big changes are happening. I'm excited for them. A lot of people are going to see a huge benefit. But again, it's not just about feeling good. You have to know what your score is, or have an idea of where you sit, because you're going to, again, and people see this all the time. They'll say, man, my Credit Karma score is a 680. I went to go to the dealership, it was like a 600. Yeah, now that score's gonna be like a 690, 700, and you're still gonna be like a 600, because they still don't use Vantage scoring anyway, okay? But I'll keep you guys updated on any changes. I'll keep you guys updated on this new FICO XD. I can't wait to talk about that, because that's a huge, this is way bigger, because again, it doesn't matter what they use, because everyone has to transition to that. That's the biggest thing, is the transition point. So if you like this video, like it. If you want to share it, make sure you share it. Sharing is always free. And of course, if you want to subscribe, please do so. There's always great videos. I promise to come out with a video every single week. I try to. And it's been giving me a lot to do. So it's pretty good. So thank you guys so much. Have a great day.